Welcome back to the Spirit Show. In today's episode, I'm very excited because I have here with me one serial entrepreneur that co-founded and he actively engaged in dozens of businesses here in Dubai and the Middle East. He worked for more than 10 years in the corporate world, and at some point, he became the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer of a big tech, Samsung, in Russia. And last but not least, he founded the Alpha Movement that helps entrepreneurs to achieve their full potential. Welcome to the show, Seif Al Hakim, right?
Pleasure, man. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking a lot about being an alpha, about what is alpha for you, about personal brand, about your companies, about your story. But just to kind of kick off and prepare the stage for our conversation today, you see, for example, even in your LinkedIn, in your podcast, in the publications that you do, it's always related to the alpha, right? Mm-hmm. So just so that we understand what it means to be an alpha for you.
Okay. If we start off, alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, correct? It's always been the leader. It's the leader in the animal pack. So by characteristic and traits, it's a leader. But throughout time, the traits changed. All times, the alpha was what? The controlling behavior, abusive, egocentric, all these things. But all over, or the evolution of the alpha traits in modern times completely changed. And these are the traits that I embody and I like people to embody as well. Which are like the person who is, I would say, responsible, a person who takes tough decisions, a person who's fiercely, when I say fiercely determined, persistent, a person who's a leader, a person who's an influential, impactful, a person who takes care of the beloved ones, a person who really cares. These are all the traits of the modern alpha, not the ones that we portray as from the old times. But if somebody comes and tell me, okay, to be fiercely determined and persistent and, that means you're an aggressive, I'm aggressive toward my goals.
Not toward other people as...
Towards my goals. So you can say what I'm aggressive in my work. Yes, I'm an aggressive, but because I'm fiercely determined. I am persistent in the goals that I want to achieve. But it's not like aggressive means punching people in the face, right, left, and center.
Of course.
So these are the modern traits of the alpha, which I embody and I want people to embody as well.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. And one thing that I just wanted to ask you, you share online as well, like your story, right? Before in Egypt and then working in South Korea, in Russia and everything. So was Seif always this alpha male, would say?
I'd say it passed through different stages. The first stage was I was always known as, like, even the nickname of my friends used to tell me a tiger. Like tiger came, tiger come, tiger. So it's kind of an animal in a way, different breed.
Yeah,
let's put
like
it in that
different
way.
than the
Yes,
average.
more or less, since you start to leave out of your comfort zone and getting out of your comfort zone, you start to embody the being, how you call it, responsible, being determined.
Yeah.
Your fate is in your hands. So all these are the things that you need to do to become an alpha, and that's how it all happens.
So just going back a little bit, just so that we understand like your story since the beginning, you worked for more than 10 years in the corporate world, right? And I'm just trying to understand, how do you think that this experience helped you and shaped you to then now, or not now, but after some years, to pursue your entrepreneurial journey? Because what I'm trying to say is that back then, when you were in the corporate world, were you still like this? How would you see these alpha traits, even though there was a 9 to 5, let's say?
Okay, my journey was, I would say, a little bit different than a corporate person regular, okay? Because I was a corporate person in a totally different country, okay? So I left my home country, I went to Korea, and from Korea to Russia to different places. So in order to be in a corporate, in a different country, and reach your potential or reach your goals, you have to be an alpha. Means, again, the traits that I told you, the fiercely determined, goal-oriented, want to develop, always self-learner. One of the traits that I forgot to mention, which is you have to be strong. But it's not only physical, it's physical, spiritually, and mentally as well.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, the corporate world helped me a lot, helped me tremendously.
But what do you think that like one specific thing that you learned from the corporate one that you kind of brought to your journey now?
How to run a business, the business models, the structures, the systems. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they start their journey, it's like Home Alone. Entrepreneurship is like Home Alone, correct?
Yeah.
You don't know what to from where to start, from where to end, how to move things. Being in corporate and seeing how the corporate world runs, it gives you a perspective how you can run your own thing. So either you're an entrepreneur, you need a mentor to tell you what to do, because nobody's born to build structures and systems. I learned it from the corporate side, being in Samsung. So that's the big lesson in general from corporate, but also for Seif, particularly it sharpened my teeth because I was always the foreigner in this corporate thing.
Always the outsider, let's say.
The outsider. So like my I would say my journey in Samsung Russia wasn't that easy. So I had to sharpen my teeth, sharpen my skills, extremely determined to reach my goals. This is all I learned in Samsung. And Samsung on its own is a school.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Like it's a huge organization,
True.
right? That kind of teach, like it creates leaders, right? Because for such organization to reach the level that it is right now in the world, you need to have like hundreds of leaders that actually are creating new leaders inside the company,
Absolutely.
right?
The idea is to create more leaders rather than more followers.
100%.
And it's always been a challenge. You understand? Like, I come from a sports background. So always my turning points in life was always a challenge rather than a smooth transition.
Yeah.
A lot of people pass through life with smooth transitions. For me, it wasn't like this. It was always a challenging thing. And I would say it's fortunate or unfortunately, I come from a sports background, so I embrace challenges. I love the feeling of a challenge. Going from Egypt to South Korea was a challenge. Somebody challenged me that I'm gonna fail. And I said, no, I'm gonna show you I'm not gonna fail. In Russia, the first ever interaction with my boss was, I'm coming from South Korea, having my dual MBA degree, MIT and an university in South Korea, and working in headquarters. When I come in, the guy tells me, go sit over there, change the color of a graph. I thought my career is destroyed. It's finished. All this, and destroyed. No, I challenged the guy. I'll make you this. If I did this and I achieve these results, I need to be promoted. I need to get a proper lineup. I need to get a product that I can be proud of and I can prove myself. So it's been always a challenge.
Yeah. I think what I can try to read is that regardless of the challenges, like everyone's going to have some challenges in life, right? But this is all about like the way that maybe your mindset is prepared for the response.
True.
Right? And how you're going to navigate. Because at that moment, if you just accept it,
it's done. It's finished.
Maybe you'd still be in Russia right now.
Maybe even I don't think I'll be in Russia. I'll be back home crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So challenges grow you.
Yeah, 100%. One thing that I wanted to see, we're talking about like your experience in the corporate world, the challenges, but what was like the trigger that kind of made you change and to pursue this entrepreneurial journey that you have?
Back when I was in South Korea, in Samsung headquarters, I had a moment with HR. I left Egypt to South Korea with the perspective that once I get trained in South Korea in headquarters, Samsung will put me back in Egypt to lead the business in Egypt, okay? I didn't want to go through this journey, but it happened, and thank God it happened. It changed my career trajectory completely. When I went to South Korea, I wanted to don't go back to Egypt. I tasted the international exposure. I tasted the cultural difference that makes me grow, right? So when they came and told me go back, I said no, I want to stay in South Korea. Then I was extremely, I would say, achiever in Samsung, like very valuable to Samsung from a business unit. So when I was talking to HR, I told them I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to Egypt. I will stay in South Korea because all the executives around us in Samsung want Seif to stay in South Korea. The guy looked at me and whispered and said, Seif, put your ego down a little bit. I can replace you with an empty chair in 2 seconds. You know, this is a hit that's like, oh, replaced? I won't be replaced ever. So all the actions that I take in my life, everything that I think about, I don't want to be replaceable. From a perspective, I was always developing myself. personal development for me is a Bible, a religion. I need to develop myself every single day. I have time, I don't have time. I need to read, take a course, go to a seminar. It doesn't matter. It's a Bible, it's a religion. I have to. Secondly, when I was in the corporate ladder or the corporate career, I was always testing my hands in entrepreneurship. So while I was in Samsung, I was testing some businesses, having new ideas, projects, from trading, from having my own supplement line, from whatever you can or even think, I tried this business. So when the time happened or the move happened, which is by nature, it had to happen. I had to be just an idiot if I don't see it, it's coming. I reached the maximum, the top of the level in a foreign country. I had two options, either to quit or to go a lateral move to another company. Then I said like, okay, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. And I moved, and it was a hell decision.
Why?
Because entrepreneurship is all about hell. You live in hell day in, day out.
People think that when you become an entrepreneur, you kind of have, let's say, you don't have the 9 to 5, right? They think that it's all free. You can do anything you want.
That's the bull of social media.
Yeah.
Portray entrepreneurship is an easy game. It's full of fun. It's an absolute hell, but it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means like, you know, entrepreneurship is when you wake up in the morning and you start kicking ass and you don't know if it's going to work or not. That's entrepreneurship. Correct? You're
100%.
putting effort, putting time, putting money, putting energy, putting everything. And you have no idea if it's going to work or not.
And how do you train your mindset to kind of pursue this? Because just one thing, because as we're talking like about
Sure.
alpha and about, I think being the alpha would kind of described as well in very high performance, right?
True.
Achieving very high performance in whatever you're doing.
True.
But when you talk about, let's say, entrepreneurship, how do you think that, like, what it means to be an alpha in the company, like in the entrepreneur like journey?
Achievers, high achievers. But I want to go one step backwards. How do you train your mind to do all these?
Yeah.
I come from a background, sports background, which taught me one thing. I'm not interested to be motivated. I'm not interested to be inspired. Because all these things, one day you're inspired, one day you're motivated, the other day you're... What works? Systems, habits, routines. Every day I do the same thing based on the systems that I put to myself, the structures that I put to myself, the routines, the habits that I put to myself to reach my goal. I don't wait for somebody to clap for me. I don't wait to hear a song to pump me up. I don't wait for Tony Robbins to say some motivational speech to me to fire me up. I have my systems that's in place because we're humans. We're lazy creatures. At the end, we drift. If you don't have, I have from 7 to 8, I do this. From 8 to 9, I do this. From 10, I do this. People will tell me boring. Good luck. It is. But it makes me achieve my goals. It makes me achieve the life that I want to live. It makes me achieve the life that I want my family to live. We're humans, we're lazy.
Yeah. It's kind of, if you don't have the systems in place, it's kind of just going against the very basic thing that
100%.
humans are
100%.
meant to be on the, let's say, on the stable
100%.
career, right? On a stable life.
100%.
Yeah. And now going back to this new question that I was saying, so we see that having this mindset, it's maybe, I don't know, but it's very important in this journey, right? In any journey related to high performance. So when you talk about the businesses, you're talking about like the achievers.
True.
So what do you mean to be an achiever in the business setting?
Whatever you give to me, I will get results. Whatever. And the opposite side of the coin for it, it's that you can rely on me. So being an alpha in business, I'll get you the results and you can rely on me in everything. That's an alpha.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they kind of, I don't know, the thing about having a high performance in the business, it misunderstands sometimes, I would say.
In
Do
what
you
sense?
think-
In what sense?
Because if you see, we're talking about high performance, we're talking about achieving, but some people maybe there, I think it even links back to the ego. Because one thing that is interesting, we're saying like the ego and kind of, you saw that maybe
True.
right? Maybe they were saying that, oh, it could be replaced. So you need to understand it to balance.
Yes.
Do you think this makes sense?
There is a thin line between ego and confidence.
Yeah.
There is a absolute thin line.
Yeah.
Line. Confidence is an internal thing. Ego is an external validation of things.
Yeah.
So people have to understand where is the borderline to stop.
Yeah.
I'm a type of person that I pass through both. I was a very young person when I reached the CMO. So my ego was super high.
Yeah.
And it destroyed a lot of what I have achieved. Okay? This destroyed my relationships, had a lot of negative effects because I was like early 30s, CMO, all over the TV, all over the news, with all the celebs. And suddenly at early 30s, I'm a CMO. Of course, I had this ego problem. But thank God I'm a guy that can look at the mirror and understand what's wrong, and I fix it.
And kind of pinpoint what
Absolutely.
needs to be changed. Yeah.
The people around me who helped me, the people around me that supported me, the people around me that made me who I am, the effort that I put to study, to put my skills on the right track, and when my ego hits, I forget all these.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But calibrated back to my normal.
Yeah. It's always about like learning, failing, understanding, moving on.
True.
And then you finally can, right?
100%.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to dive, we're talking about the mindset, right? And related to business. And you're saying that we need to have the systems in place to achieve that.
True.
So having the systems in place, I think this would be kind of related to the behavior, right? Because if I need to behave in a specific way, I'm going to create the systems to then behave.
True.
So in your experience, what do you think, like should an entrepreneur focus on the behavior or on the mindset? If you had to pick one.
No, there is no picking. There is no picking and choosing. The correct mindset will put you in the correct behavior. If you have the correct mindset, you will execute the correct behavior. If your mindset is completely destroyed, then
there's no way to go ahead.
As an example, my mindset say, okay, Seif, I have an idea, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, they have the couch idea. They keep the idea is in their head, keep thinking about it. Let's make the idea perfect. The idea doesn't get perfect in your mind.
Yeah.
The idea gets perfect where?
Executing.
In the market. So that's all about, like, from a business perspective, that's a mindset. I believe if I have an idea, I throw it in the market. Let the market fine tune it, not me, not my mind, not the couch mindset.
Yeah.
It goes with everything.
And it's very interesting because this kind of link to humility, if you understand, like because we're talking about the ego, we're talking about being alpha, we're talking about having high performance. But one thing that I was even talking with Anthony that we kind of discussed that maybe if we had to choose one characteristic for an entrepreneur, it's humility, it's to be humble. Not to kind of, what do you think about this? Because to understand that maybe not the best things are in your mind. Do you think that this is something that makes...
Being humble is one of the greatest traits because being humble means having an empathy to people, and business and entrepreneurship and is all about people. So this is 100% has to happen. Because once you put the guards in front of you, opportunities are gone. So you need to be humble 100%. But it goes not in business, it goes in your relationships. It's everywhere. Once you're dealing with business, that's why AI won't replace us 100%, right? Because we have the empathy, being humble, being able to connect with each other.
Yeah,
so
the human element.
True.
Yeah. One thing, how do you think that these past years, or like with the advance of social media and AI, how would you say, like, compared before to nowadays, humans? Do you think that humans now, they're becoming weaker because of this comfort that we have?
Yes, totally.
Why?
100%. 100%.
Why is that?
We have the couch mindset.
Not want to do anything, just watch Netflix.
I'm just like, I'm looking at people, watching people, comparing myself to people, looking at the lifestyle of people, but not putting the effort to do it your own. That's why I say, like, yes, a lot of people are weaker.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main objective of the Alpha movement.
So why you created this Alpha movement?
Because, like, back in COVID period, I was absolutely sitting at home, correct? Where we were all locked, right?
Yeah.
So I had the time to be able to surf, I would say, the internet. And at that time, I of course, I picked up on this, like everybody, like, let's jump onto this crypto thing that I'll get rich tomorrow. Let's get this course that will make me lose 10 kilograms in a couple of minutes. So all these quick hack schemes. And then I said, no, I don't like these things, because I see the potential of people. And I see when people put their mind to do something or to reach an objective without comparing themselves to people or listening to other people's opinion, you can really achieve it. And that has been proven across decades and decades in history. Like the guy, the 4-minute mile. There was Roger Bannister, as I remember the name. Do you know this guy or not? This guy broke the record 4 minutes a mile, to run 4 minutes a mile. By all human science, that's against the human capability. Correct? Yeah. Done. This guy broke it because his mindset, if he just looked around, nobody can run a mile in less than 4 minutes. Done. Take it. But the best thing about this story is what? When he broke this record, the next 2 years, 37 people did it.
It opened a door.
So it's all about us. I don't need to compare myself to somebody in order to be able to achieve something. So the whole alpha movement was created to combat the culture of laziness, not reaching our potential, to help people really achieve what they want.
Yeah, yeah. And relating to this question that I asked about like this weaker these weaker humans right now, let's say, and that's why you kind of created the alpha movement to kind of help fixing this.
Yeah.
How do you see, because we are from different generations,
True.
right? How do you think that the new generation, people from 20, 25, how do you think that this is affecting them? Do you think that is even worse or is the same?
I don't think from a generational standpoint, because a lot of new generation people, they're doing extremely well, even better than my generation. I was having an interview a couple of days back, people who created software at 11 years old. 11 years old. Myself at 11 years old, don't even let me remember. So it's not about generational thing, it's about how we're using the exposure that we get from the technology, not about the generation, to influence us. A lot of people use this technology to waste their time, right? Just scroll, compare, oh my God, I want this lifestyle, but I can't because my father is not rich, my family is not rich, my husband is not rich, correct? The comparing and this kind of things. And some people, they're using this technology to what? To learn, develop, progress, grow. But the majority, as humans, we're lazy. So we take it, the majority, we take it from this side that we're lazy, we won't do. We just compare and give ourselves excuses.
To not do anything.
Yeah, but it's not a generational thing again. I don't believe in this.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Interesting perspective. Because what I see nowadays is that a lot of, especially when I discuss with my partners, we see that a lot of the new generation, 20, 22, they don't want to engage in any kind of challenge. I don't know if this is something that you experience with your generation as well, but they are very accepting the average. Just accepting, just doing the basic thing. Oh, I'm done. I don't need to go 1 extra mile. I don't need to work 30 minutes after. You see, it's very hard for me, at least back home in Brazil, it's very hard to see someone stay in an office working more than 8-10 hours a day.
Yes, and this is why. Because the lifestyle of work on your laptop from the beach, okay? So there are not a lot of people, they're looking outside, seeing that there are these type of, I don't want to say fake or not fake entrepreneurs, but the lifestyle of a laptop from anywhere, from your bed, from your kitchen, from the beach, that you can do anything. Why should I come to office and work 10, 12 hours? I come from a generation that I can work 16 hours. Whatever, laptop, not laptop, I know success comes from hard work. I'm not saying stupid hard work, but smart, but hard work. Nothing beats hard work. A lot of people these days use the exposure that we get, and to be honest, that's a marketing gimmick. All these companies, platforms are using these things to attract you to consume data rather than work. And I would say, okay, the young generation falls to this.
Yeah, yeah.
Our generation was falling towards negative news. Every era has a marketing gimmick to it, right? My era is news. Put me bad news, so attract my attention, so you can sell me a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Right? That was my era. CNN, not CNN, all these negative, 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 negative. We're humans. We attract to negatives. Survival. This era, no, it's social media. Push you to consume rather than to create. So they're using the consumption to throw you ads. And people fall to it.
A lot of people that do not have this mindset
to
to
it.
kind of even understand what is
True,
happening,
true.
just follow it, right?
Lack of resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Lack of resourcefulness.
Yeah. One thing, Seif, that I think is very interesting.
I want to tell you something
sorry.
about this to interrupt you. It's very different to be resourceful and to be resourcefulness. What do I mean by this? A lot of people seeing these social media things and say like, oh shit, I don't have this $1,000. Or let's say, I don't have this $50,000 to create my project. That's lack of resourcefulness. In what sense? If a resourceful guy is thinking, he knows that this $50,000 to create my project, it's a couple of conversations away from me. If I can pick up my socks and make a couple of conversations, I will get this $50,000 to do my project. That's the difference.
Yeah. It's about how you react, right? The same
True.
way that we're saying about back in Samsung, that we're challenging, the way that you reacted kind of led to new opportunities,
100%.
right? To new challenges,
Exactly.
to new things that would actually,
Everything that you need in life, it's a couple of conversations away from you.
yeah,
Just have the guts or the balls to do it.
yeah. One thing that is actually interesting, as I said in the beginning, you have like a lot of companies around and a lot of the groups that you lead and co-founder and are a partner. And one thing that I wanted to ask you is, in this world that we have like all of these people that maybe are lost, but also all of these people that are working very hard to actually succeed, how can you spot someone that would be like a good entrepreneur, that would actually be good at working with you? So how do
It's
you,
all about attitude at the end of the day. Skills, it's nothing. You can teach skills. You can never teach an attitude or a character. So I spot by attitude, I spot by character, I spot by hunger. These are the people that I love to work with. And you always test. Entrepreneurs are value-added people. They're not box movers. Box movers are industrialized workers, correct? Back 20, 30 years, you just need somebody to write something on the computer, send an email, reply, and that's it. Entrepreneurs are value-added people. If you're part of my team, you need to make sure you add value. You just not move things. So value-added being, having the character traits of hunger, passion, buy into my vision. These are all things that you can't teach. I can teach you sales, I can teach you marketing, but I can't teach you hunger.
100%, 100%. And this eye to spot these people is a very valuable thing,
It's
right?
value and by experience.
Yeah,
Everybody passed through this experience.
for these things, yeah. One thing again that we're saying, it's like the alpha male, it's a very big movement that you're making, and that's gonna grow in the upcoming months, years, right? And it's very important, as you can see your shirt, the branding around that, right? And you have a company that is focused on personal brands, another company that is focused on marketing agencies and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, from your experience with personal brands and with your personal brand, why do you think that having this, let's say, this unique and strong brand of being the alpha, it helps you with the other business that you have and with your personality?
Through, I would say, like, by time, we talked about generations. Previous generations was believing in more companies, right? I believe in Samsung. I believe, you understand? Like,
Yeah,
going forward, people believe in people. They trust people. So even now, Google search volumes for personal branding 4 times, 5 times before. Because people connect with people, people buy from people, people trust people. I'll give you a very simple example. There is an effect called the Musk effect. Elon Musk. Tesla as a company roughly is 10 years old. Ford as a company was generated in early 1900s. You see the gap, okay? Both market caps are equal, almost the same. Ford. And a 10 years company, yes, it's the power of a personal brand of Elon Musk. Whether you like him, you don't. This guy is authentic, honest, say what he wants. A lot of people think that he's the role model. Do you know the who's behind AT&T? No. Do you know who's behind L'Oreal? No. The power is towards personal branding now. So everybody has to develop their personal brand in a way or another. All the buying decisions, at the end of the day, it's connected to people.
Yeah, not to brand.
Not
right?
to... Nobody fall in love with the logo. Nobody
Yeah.
fall in love with an ad copy. Nobody fall in love with a website. But
Yeah.
people fall in love with people. And that's the
Because
power
they connect to.
of... 100%.
100%.
And that's...
And one thing that is
power.
actually very interesting, if you see the ad spend, the amount of marketing that Tesla have and compared to Ford,
Yeah.
Tesla doesn't spend anything in ads, anything in marketing. Everything is organic.
The guy sold the truck before there was a truck. Correct?
100%.
The truck just came now.
5-10 years later. And
Truck
it's selling
just
a
came
lot.
now. And even on, that's the power. Even on the demonstration, when he was collecting pre-order by his name, when they tested, he said that this car, window doesn't break. It's super. They throw something, crash the window. Pre-order? Yes, we will pre-order.
Still, that's
They
the power of
trust
the
that
brand.
person. He will deliver.
Yeah. And one thing, what do you think that people they misunderstand? What do you think that is the top one thing that someone that is trying to create a personal brand that they forget about it and then they commit a lot of mistakes on it?
One of the, I would say, most important pillars is that the people that you're communicating to must understand what you stand for and what you stand against. Because what you stand for is a very strong power, right?
Yeah.
Like we stand for a particular cause, a purpose. But what we stand against, it's much stronger. If we have a common enemy, we're much more united. Not from an enemy perspective, but you're standing against a particular thing, smoking, whatever it is. So your audience has to really understand what you stand for and what you stand against. And you will attract these type of people that resonate with you. That's one of the main things when you're trying to build your personal brand.
Yeah. And then for you in the Alpha movement, what would be one thing that is for and one thing that is against?
I stand for developing your skills, lifelong learning, being a responsible person, and. That's, which is the obvious one. The not obvious ones, which are the things that I stand against, which is gender inequality, racism, not proper education across. There are a couple of things the Alpha movement stand against.
Yeah, yeah. This is interesting. It's all about, like as you said, it's about connecting to people. And people have values.
True.
That's why these things are so strong.
True.
Right?
A lot of videos I do where I talk about the schooling system. Okay? And I always say that the schooling system just provides people to become industrialized workers. You know how to move this bottle from here to here. You're not thinking at all, correct?
Yeah.
And a simple example. If you in school and I give you a math test and you go to your friend to help you because he's good in math, to help you do the test, you're going to be considered as cheat, right? Cheater. That's cool. Entrepreneurs, your main thing is what? Is to find people who have the capabilities in things that you're weak in, bring them together, get it done. That's fundamental things.
Yeah. The school system does actually prepare alphas, I would say.
True. Just get grades. That's it. On
And-
your own.
And one thing that is very, like, education is very important, as you're saying, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very important. But at the same time, we're seeing like all of the challenges with schools, with degrees, and you have an MBA, right?
Yeah.
With the MIT. So we see that even though it's something that is very important, it's something that is not well developed in this term of,
Yeah. I will
Is this
stop
true?
you here.
what's your
A lot of
opinion
people
on
would
that?
go, should I take an MBA? I said, like, everything for me, when you ask me a question, I ask you, what is the objective? My objective with an MBA was very simple. What is it? Build a network. Anything you can learn online now. My objective with an MBA at that time was to build a network. I have a network of people across the world. Whatever I want something in Nigeria, I have my friend there. That was my objective with an MBA.
It's all about the intention that you have.
True. Plus, at that time, I was an engineer. And I did an MBA in global marketing. So it was an additional skill set that I'm developing. So that's why whenever somebody asks him a question, I say, what's your objective? I'm developing a skill, yes. I'm looking to build a global network, yes.
Yeah.
Done.
Then you can take.
For a year, yes.
Yeah. And this was in Korea, South Korea,
This was
right?
South Korea.
Yeah. What is, we see like the importance of people in the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? It's all about the connections.
True.
It's all about who you know, and maybe who you doesn't know, that you can make that call and to make your 50,000 project
True.
actually move on, right?
True.
This is something very important for sure, as you were discussing. But just going back to the educational system, what was one thing that you think that you learned either in the MBA or in your in your engineering degree? What was something that you learned there that you kind of brought to your experience now?
I will talk about engineering.
Yeah.
Because engineering taught me how to be structured, how to love numbers. Business is about numbers. So from engineering standpoint, structure and building. No, structure and numbers. I would say that's the only things. MBA is more about communicating with people, different cultures,
The soft skills
the soft skills.
that we don't learn anywhere else, actually, right?
But for example, like the sad part about these, like if somebody to come and tell me, okay, say if there are business models, let's say like entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
I have this kind of business model. Which type of business models do you want? You don't recommend? I've never learned this in school, in universities. I learned it the hard way,
Yeah.
from life, from being an entrepreneur. School didn't tell me that having one product to sell is shit. School taught you have a product, sell it. Life taught you if you have a product and you sell it, that you're giving the customer a binary option, 0 or 1. So if he doesn't buy from you, you lost the customer. You need to have an ecosystem of products. If you have a business model that you're the guru of things, that's a failed model because people want to work with you only. Then you won't be able to scale. Right?
100%.
People tell you, okay, there's something called the J-curve business models, which are capital intensive business models, like opening a restaurant, opening an IT business, where you put a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of energy on the hope that after you pass this death valley, you'll be able to make money. That's a business model I don't go in. But this is life. Teach you this. School doesn't teach you, and school doesn't show you these options. So when you become an entrepreneur, you can decide on your own. It doesn't show you these.
Yeah, yeah. And you're saying about people, right,
Yeah.
in the MBA. And you have your podcast
Yeah.
as a part of the Alpha Movement, which you bring like a lot of big guests to understand from them and learn and share,
True.
right? And with all of these guests that you brought in, one thing that I wanted to ask you, what was one learning that you could get from them that it really helped you and you wanted to share here?
Real people are not the shiny ones. Real people are not the shiny ones. Real entrepreneurs, real kick-ass people are not the shiny ones.
And when you mean the shiny ones, we would say that they're the silent ones?
Yes, I mean the people who are not like all over the place. The real entrepreneurs that I met and I interviewed on the podcast are really the ones that, I'd say like, I don't want to say under the radar, but like they're so humble, so low-key.
And from where do you think this comes from?
The era where we live. A lot of people do the game of fake it until you make it. Especially with the help of the social media and all the financial systems and you, a lot of people fake it until you make it.
And then you can kind of have
Yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah. Very, very interesting. One thing that I wanted to see, what do you think that during this journey, as I was saying, like you have many, many different companies, right? What was one of the biggest challenges that you had, maybe in the beginning or right now, in one of your companies?
I will not, I say a challenge, I would say a mindset. You know, when you come from a sports background, you also still think like, oh my God, I can break the wall, which is in a reference to motivation. I can make it. Man, this is a new business. I can make them, forget about it. I can make it, correct? So that's a lesson that I learned, that it's not about the motivation that you're coming with. A lot of young entrepreneurs, when you see them, sometimes you want to tell them, relax a little bit, slow down, because it's not only about the motivation. I'll give you an analogy. Can you drive a Kia Picanto at 200 kilometers per hour? You can jump on the car, clap your hands, tell the car, run, 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 speed, 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 whatever. Would the Picanto will hit at 200 kilometers per hour? Never. Why? It's not designed to run at 200 kilometers per hour. Put a Ferrari next to it. Will it get to 200 kilometers per hour? Yes, because it's designed for a 200 kilometers per hour. So why I'm saying this, all the entrepreneurs that you will sit with and talk to, either they failed or succeed. Both of them, if you ask them the question, are you motivated to succeed? Are you hungry to succeed? Both of them will tell you, we're super motivated, we're super hungry to succeed. Part of them fail, part of them succeed. The only difference is the part who succeeded is the one that they knew the design of the thing that makes them succeed. Any business that you're trying to run or trying to create has some fundamentals, have some patterns in order for them to succeed. Mm-hmm. Not going with a blind eye into the middle of the wall trying to break it. No. Everything has a design to succeed. A lot of gurus, Tony Robbins, or say model people, correct? If you want to do a business, look at the person who walked your path, did the business that you want, model them. I said model, I didn't say copy. Model them. Do the steps, the fundamentals that makes this business run, add your things on it, voila, you succeed. It takes time, but voila, you succeed. Going with a blind eye, hitting the wall,
it will not help.
It won't help. So designed to succeed versus you're motivated to succeed.
Yeah. Do you think that this all comes back also to the purpose that the person will be doing what they are doing?
You know, I love this idea of purpose and passion and things, but business is tough. Business is absolutely tough. Being an entrepreneur is an absolutely tough job. If you don't have the passion for it, you won't pass the downturn.
You need to kind of be able to stay in this moment.
Stay long, you don't know when it's finishing. So without the love to it, the passion to it, you won't be able.
Never.
Yeah.
How do you think that the Dubai scenario is for entrepreneurs? Because as you said, you had experience from Korea, from Russia, then to other places, and then you came to Dubai, right?
Yeah.
How do you think that being in Dubai, it kind of helps for an entrepreneur today?
Dubai is like the future, which means it gives all the possibilities and capabilities and the support that you need to succeed. And they're positioning themselves in that way. We're supporting the entrepreneurs, we. And they're doing a lot in this. The government support, the incubators, the accelerators, even the corporate structures here are supporting entrepreneurs. It's one of the few areas in the world that has all this support. They're positioning themselves the gem of the world, supporting the entrepreneurs. A lot of people don't understand that the value of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship propels the economy of a country, propels it. To create jobs, create income, create. So when the whole structure in a country supports entrepreneurs, what's an entrepreneur? Having an idea, making it reality, make business out of it, correct? That's economy. Dubai is strong in this. Government support, government funds, incubators, accelerators everywhere. Investors see this, so influx of money is coming in to support as well. Corporations, they see, we need to have our innovation centers, entrepreneurship centers to support young entrepreneurs. It's an amazing place to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it kind of gives maybe the extra kick that is needed.
Everybody needs the support.
100%.
All entrepreneurs, man, really, as an entrepreneur, you wake up, you don't know
anything
when this thing will kick off. You're waiting for anybody to support you. And the idiots are the only ones say, I don't need support from anybody. No, you need support. So when you're in an environment or a society or a country that supports this, you're blessed.
Yeah, and these are the one that think, and these ones that think that they don't need anyone are actually the failures one.
Absolutely.
One that's gonna fail. Because in the end of the day, as you're saying, it's all
Absolutely.
about people.
The best thing about being an entrepreneur is if I don't have a solution to something, I will raise the phone. Do you know how to do this? We were talking about your software outside, correct?
Yeah.
And I said like, okay, show me. Yeah, help me
Let's
with
see
it.
what we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, no, I have my people doing it. Don't worry. No, man, it doesn't work.
And I think in these moments come the humble part, the humble element.
Absolutely.
Because when we
True.
realize that, okay, maybe like I'm doing awesome,
Yeah.
but
true.
maybe this person is doing something different that it's worth trying.
100% and can take me to another level.
100%. Just to close, I
Yeah.
think like this is being very insightful. And as I said before, this is all to help the audience to kind of
True.
understand what are the elements that change makers, entrepreneurs, someone that actually wants to leave a positive impact in the world, they need to listen,
Yeah.
or it would be insightful for them.
Mhm.
If you had to kind of tell Seif back in Egypt when it was high school or doing college, what would be the thing that you would tell him so that he will not, let's say, lose the hope in his future self?
Keep experimenting, keep learning, and never lose hope. I had a period in my life, early times, that I ignored studies. I ignored learning. And when I went to Korea, this whole thing changed. So if I will tell my younger self, study, learn skills, keep yourself updated. There is a statement that says, we're all equal as humans, correct? But we're not equal. Humans as souls. We're equal as souls, but we're not equal in the marketplace.
Yeah.
You have to develop yourself. You have to uplift your skills in order to be valuable. And being valuable is not being selfish. When you become valuable, you will help other people. You will help your family. So always, always, always be hungry to learn. Have this baby mind. You know when you're a kid? Like,
What is this?
What is... When I go to a place, I scan every single thing. I'm a scanner. I want to learn anything about something. That doesn't mean I'm disfocused. My mind is a sponge. I'm taking ideas. And at the end of the day, when I have a problem, this sponge will
Full of good information.
full of good information that will help me be creative and innovative in solving this problem. I always have a touch. I'm a marketeer. I want to have an edge.
Yeah.
I want to stand out. How can I stand out if I don't know anything?
Yeah. 100%.
You can borrow information from different fields. One, I would say, a very nice example for this. One bank wanted to increase the revenue. So they got a consultant, and this consultant said, okay, I have a very good idea to increase your revenue. I'm gonna make a drive-through cashiers and ATMs. The CEO at that time of this bank said like, oh shit, what you're coming from? That guy comes from F&B, okay? He's like, yeah, our business is totally different than yours. This consultant went to another bank, did this. The revenue 4x. Being resourceful. You can get ideas from here and here, put it in your business, create something amazing. So always be willing to learn. Always have the baby mind. Always develop yourself every day. Better every day. Not the idea is not to achieve your goal only. No, to be better every single day.
And then eventually, by luck, as people say, you're gonna become the person that you wanted.
Absolutely. At the
Always.
end, the goal is, okay, you achieve something monetary, tangible, but the goal is, when I look at myself in my mirror, I'm proud.
Yeah. Seif, thank you very much for joining. This was amazing.
I loved it. It was an amazing talk, amazing conversation, and you're doing great. Keep killing it, and you will show me your software.
Of course.
It's a pleasure.
Thank
It's a
you very
pleasure. It's a
much,
pleasure,
man.
buddy.
How was it?
I loved it. Really
Good.
was amazing one.